Beautiful people of God, good morning, brethren.
We are here, Korobasi, Monsieur.
It's a blissful morning, second Sunday in the month of May 2026. We give God thanks for making it possible for us to come out here to worship Him.
Ayaw Sunday by domi ke ofyong me. Mina wase kom ya kem fono modo nye ki kem menino de me.
You see, this is the time for teaching, and we started this class since last month. We've touched some areas, and today is a continuation of what we had discussed, what we started previously last month.
Inu pem kwa domi. Ukpem kwa me ke tungom bote ofyong nye ko afyong ndiki beko. Yusuri ibo ukpem kwa atoke nkaiso ukpem kwa nyini kibo ofyong nye ko.
The topic of our teaching has been the education that befits godly children.
You worry ko kenyini kisio inami beb ke kami worry ko akenyini niya kiswami akero uto bempo akedo to ni to wong.
And the text is still in Proverbs 22 verse 6 that says, train up a child in a way he will go, and when he grows he will never deviate or depart from it.
Senyini ke kama atiti ngwere kenyini kisio manika nyibo bempo me akedo ken wen menke akedo igoro mo edepi iba fangama.
We've not deviated from the aim of this teaching, which is raising the education that enables you to raise children through godly education that will shape their attitude, their lifestyle, and their character.
Kepesan nyini kine men nyini benidem nyini siik bong ata sanga bo ke woda ke dogo uto pem bo ke benon toen manam mo ekori kifyogo basi.
You know, previously we've discussed about spiritual education, character. We've discussed spiritual education, security education. Under the spiritual education, we were able to elaborate a lot. And on the last Sunday, we were able to attend to some questions from our previous teachings.
Imai neme ke ukbeb kempang ukanga spirit ake kmenwa manyine wong mananye pun yung imani seke fanga ke namam kwedi itangam kwe bangay duwem ake ikbengwe bebe tukoyen mananye kan akpun ke afanganye ronko.
Okay, today we are going to look at character education.
Kima kibo kbake kedogo ukbem poken kan spirit mpan idibo kenye ke apanga ke duwem.
Which after the character education, we will now go straight to mental education, which has to do with intellectual and psychological education. Those are the two main broad topics I want to discuss today.
Mkwe ba kenjini dise kusemfne pado aki ketedo ke anda kenya mkwe dina meduwe mtukoyen ayogi baado mena mwe kerempo aki koto mentally didie kem kami woro mo ekerempo ise muto bempo ke benon tukoyen ya sange kem.
When we are talking about character education simply means an education that shapes a child's inner values, behavior, decisions, and relationships.
Senyini tanye bangami eduwem ado me ngwonda eduwem ekekpebogo asange kem me ukpempo baseke me ekpebe tukoyen. We'll be a
little bit speedy in our discussion today because we have a lot to discuss.
You see,
most times when we get close to people or work with persons or live together with some persons, you hear some remarks, mostly good remarks or negative remarks that this person has a character or this person doesn't have a character. Most times when one wants to choose a partner, one may like to criticize, character. This person doesn't have a character. So that's where we are on character education.
Sendendo mi mo misi buaiden me emo wonfen. No so da aba wo ke foye mi ron doket. Apam po ke ru do ko fe ne bo on ke wo mi ni eti eruo. O kiru to won ke gberong dok. Se apangaro ke mi mofidi se nyung ineme mpo ibangam na ikpekpe betuko inyado onye keni menti edu memi.
You agree with me that in today's world, we have a lot of pressures, like children are exposed to social media pressure. You see media pressure, peer pressure, entertainment influences and influencers, and fast-changing moral standards. Our moral standards are changing, devaluing because of how the society is today. So intentional training is very important.
Se mi mofiken diende ke rimboro ke mi mofiba mi edo da ke mentoro ine ke nyini niere mi edo memo ke ekete mo wan bo ke peboro anyike mo ammo ke so mbate rimboro ke mo ekete agimi yo ke mo fana ke mo ro kondo ke memme bo ke mo ekete ki pege pam memme utowo ake mo ke ne ke eseke kon me celebrity wan membo mi edo mempo kere to ine gbeket mik pe meke na anye kpebe nye ben mi diore du wememi abene nie se mi mofiri ne me ko sem fnedo na ete me ka ke mi kpebe yen en ke tron yebo ken ne ko songodom ku sanga ke nyem po ketemi ke kwena abantu mimi.
Okay, one of the points under character education, we have moral education.
Ke tu mempo ki nyinisio ki dak eduwem moral education.
You see, previously we discussed about morality and we took time to expose or explain moral education previously, but today we want to just have a recap of it so that we can flow along with the breakdown of the teaching.
Mai neneme ke fanga ke nyinidi kama kusem fnemi aro mfune ye mai te kide mission mempo ifang ke fang ake bogo moral
education is simply the education that enables a child to know his right from the wrong, wrong from the right.
Sego moral education odo ukpempo ke wote to enable sesido neken kwame singido sikwangado.
It also enables the child to have a clear decision conscience, and also most especially when nobody is around watching him or her.
Adu talk pempoke for pepetroyen anyanwa manye nyeri kore adon komo we piba ibonye megemi anyedi yon asifona yon mpasifon.
Making wise decisions when nobody is watching her or him.
Ake wa manye nyenam etim pembiere bayeke womi ba ikpere.
Romans 12 verse 9 says, abhor what is evil, cling to what is good. Some of them leave what is evil and hold firm to what is good.
This
includes teaching our children what is truth versus what is lies.
Good behavior,
distinguishing good behavior from bad behavior. Justice and fairness. Respect and disrespect. Also accountability for their actions. Teach them these things so that they can distinctively differentiate from these things, these two things. They are two-sided affairs. You choose this one or this. This is the result when you choose this, and this is the result when you choose this other one. If you look around today, especially the world of internet, you will see online bullying, you will see things like a fraud culture, you know, smartness replacing honesty. Someone wants to be smart to replace honesty. They want to make money irrespective of how they make the money, whether it's on the detriment of another person. But what they want is just to make money. These are moral devaluing, moral standards going down. Vulgar entertainments. You will see children now dancing on ring light and camera, sometimes half naked, and the racy our morals are now depreciating.
Sendendo seko morala mi kere to yini di yon sifon mesi di yok anyo mexifon sa dogo na rimbere bebem ko sempnemi na nyini kai su iket kem mi bege fam ana metugo yin dendo ikan nitam idi yon sifon dendo kene si kuangaron dendo ake na masebe bon dendo morala mi ba den ku metugo yin boken dendo na to yin sero ama tungi develop anyen dendo tungon dendo asium kon di semienam men ngori snepong si sungom ko ide me mobono anek so da rimbon dende se yunga no ye like ado nanga ye ngoke na wo pena te ba ri keti diong pondo ke ku
The
to me
worst
dina
of
mame
it all today is that particular statement that everybody are doing it doesn't make it right. Like, because this one is doing, the percentage of the people doing it are like 80%. And everybody wants to go to that because everybody are doing it. That's a very wrong perspective that is creating problem in our moral standards today.
akene na ntugo ine ikan bo anyero ket ko fien bai ukem ko magai so se ken na se ko ukem ko magai so se ku iso mekedem anye nying dendo ngote ke frewe se nam tro anwo kamaro ke isonge ki geremo auto ki geremi ke tugo ine ni ege boke afrewe se nam tro nyen wo ke nam aro te diok ukbeb ake tugo ine bo.
Teach your children how to greet the elderly person in the morning, anytime. Cool, yeah, don't wait for the church, not wait for the elder person to first greet the child. Teach. Teach them from infancy how to greet the elderly one. Teach them how to assist the elderly person, the weak. Teach them how to offer an elderly person a seat. Maybe sometimes you go to occasions and you see the young men that still have energy on them, or energy in them, sitting down while watching an elderly person, or a pregnant woman, or a weak person standing. The moral standards are devaluing.
Wanga ba ke bena de mi mo fi pem tuin ya ni pem tuin ya ni na bena de ko me kama wo ina de mo be de kama wo ke to kan yebo abo ye mesiere amanye ke to ke bena ti mo idion afu pesa nga meyen fo nye ke kama wi ko mo to anyebo menye ko me kama wo bebe to nya dion ke na de nwa mo ke ba ke mmemi dem papan me mo ke me gbono wo ki so ema so we na to ne ke mi do aka itiem ko ke to kin po etie e kama wo ke ro ile mem iketem kwa ititie na mi atogo ine dion ke bana te nyera kara aya ufanga do no e kamba wo nye tie san ro nye so kom song idem muto kpem kon bana te no atogo yin so ra nye dion so medu na bana te nye asunu wam ano mem fin papan mo ke ba ke memidem.
Today, if you go to interviews, you will see that most times they don't really sit you down to ask you what is a Holmes law, all those questions like that. Most times they use moral, a scenario to test you for the interview. You will see maybe the CEO disguising as a beggar or as a gate man or as an aged person, trying to see the attitudes, the moral characters that are coming in for that interview. And you will see probably a beggar trying to beg you, or you passing the CEO disguising as a beggar or as a mad person, begging you for something, and you turn down. At the end of the day, you now meet the person on the seat of who wants to employ you. These moral standards, when we teach our children, they'll be able to overcome situations like this.
Mi wanyene maika eke benam ko ke go interview ke bo pem mo membe ebo ama boro mamora kuto ura kutem uto wari na mami ido ko sika isoba ko bo pefie ne bo nzoke ko gbe ku fok ugbe na se ko mo awu pefen mem kporo ba me wondendo eyemi domo duwem ake tangam ko banga apidi yongo sifon mesidio domo fien kuto songoro nusugira ni ti u tomoro akimi wasne pongta anta saro mewe ngweri ibarawo kese modo tokena sne pongebo onke wo mesne ya ke nusugira ani mpo so yenge mesne pong ngo anta nusugira atieke inwa top ake na ate porugi ti tomoro nusugira boge mikrenye u komo saro ni ese nye wonye tieke itie mbio nusugira akimi ti ubenge mpo ane kuko ubenge apondene asiono ye anya ngo so gat abantro yangami aro ma abantro anyu notfien awo amage keminie gerigera gutem kauto wo ke fokusiano ro ke ngoro ke nyero nitie utemoro nangera esad mewo erong kitu utemirangaro.
Okay, let's note something from under moral education. A child who only fears punishment may behave well temporarily, but a child taught morals develop inner conviction in them.
Ya ise mempo ke pena te mi mo visio mi. Etoin ake aniye mbak me pono emo wo atoken tak ufene gerigi noye ana maro ken tak ado ku fene ya ba nyana maro ke ta tugini ado domu ke meri kwe betugoyen ya nyedi odi yongon tak ake nye pena ate na mpom ana mpom odi yongo ke simo ina ma me edo timpo ke pena ate ni nyuna mtro.
Okay, let's move straight to discipline training under character education.
Ya ise yo mpo iba ake gotontno ake sukosne kida
Okay,
eduwem.
discipline is best when both sides are 50-50% while disciplining their children or their words under them. I will explain. If daddy beats a child and the child will cry and looking for, that child will at that point be looking for who to cry on to. Mommy now receive the child and say, that thing that you did is not right. Why did you do that? You will now see that discipline is balanced. Rather than a father disciplining a child and the mother will now turn to be the caring part, making the child see the father as someone that is hating him or her.
Si kan mike abang tno ke pepe toyen. Ibo ke agbero 50-50 etem meka etem yagumi o yambo anokumiem e kan ngoma anok ainero yakat ntonoro nsi wani tankendo ado da nusuya eteken durueno yen nusuya da ado senyeben ikpami anye akemnya ainero tuwa ayimetenye bondongasen nusuya da abneka e kan dendo ma akedian abonye mkpofo gena mado ifon no kusona foken dendo ke teswano e kaswano nyen dendo da aket ki diong boki na maro bogbere teke na mama mi ama e ka te odi ebo kponguso am pat ainero dendo rikire te mo te uswamo at memaika.
You know, when we were kids, that thing is today that I understand what my mother used to do, that it was of advantage to us. My mother, if we do something wrongly, my mother will beat you. After disciplining you, at the end of the day, she will still make a statement that, let your father come back, I will tell him what you did. I will say, what about this first one here? I thought we are through with the disciplining now. Why tell him again? Because we know how the other part will look like.
Sendendo meteo na nsukonde tugoyen. Ikbina mkweruwe. Anyero keswe kaimo kporoba kufok. Ikaimo kwitro imo oma. Ikuegendo atu soma yore nyaroko. Afondendo di baba kem mkpomkpaidem. Saro di onku boko bon woyaka no boko mommy. So rika bobi yambok akpafu kina mami yaka trekendo rikpekpeye. Afremier usung meduoke ebenne tugoyen. Ebenne mkwegure tugoyen.
Discipline is not merely punishment, it is training a child to control emotions, desire, speech, and actions. You know what Hebrews 12:6 says? For the Lord disciplines the one he loves. Discipline is in the Bible. God disciplines who he loves and cherishes.
Sendendo ke ngwet Hebrew woro mo itio ke rufamo dueba. Ebo ke basindendo aswano atnommo akenyema.
The fruit of spirit is self-control, Galatians 5:22.
Akebo ke ngwe Galatia woro mo itio no famo erepieba. Aboda ke memmo ngome de sana street. Ado erikan carry them nyen.
With today's problem that children are addicted to anger issues, most children are having anger issues. Delayed gratification, addiction to devices, resistance to corrections. So discipline is very, very vital.
Second mirror da ke erimro sempnem ntogo inedo moke esopi ya resretieti. Ke ntogo ine sopi ya resretieti. Nusu ina awi sopi ti ke moke mpom ke na makero geti. Akimina manye akum mimimeti irigi kaiso ba ke mpom. Akena de bebe to go nyanye dion kesi mo na mama de tim gonyo so workendo.
Personally, I will suggest to the moderator that on the fourth Sunday, since we have 5 Sundays this month, the fourth Sunday, I will just make a brief introduction of my conclusion, and I will take series of questions, which means you should give me time today to explain today questions can be written down or sent to me. Fourth Sunday, I will answer, will attend to those questions.
Mbok ebenge ati woro bokrobo mbok yasu imani no imo inim fremi. Ado ke patre Sunday ke yo Sunday nang.
No, fourth, we have fixed Sunday.
Medio. Yo Sunday nang. Na imo imai di baby ya na manyedo tambio mbio. So that ibo wang member make nyini digi ni akusem frem meki ni so. Imo ere ni eri iboro.
So let's take time to break down these things because it's a teaching once and for all for the year so that we understand deeply our role in bringing godly children.
Kentro ya nyini mai dadi ni eti mani bit mana nyini dion saro odo kanke kiswa man ken nyini fra.
Okay, set clear rules and expectations. They behave when boundaries are clear. Set clear rules for your children. When children see boundaries, they will behave when you set these boundaries to them. There must be rules in your homes. Do this one, don't do this one. For example, screen time. Limit them the time they watch TVs, the time they are on their phones. Have a limited time for, or a restricted time, or a regulated time for screen time.
Si bodo kufonyen kere bono mi bed ake to yene di onge namam ku namam o ya nye di ongo mempo kero kini na ngwen ngware si doko bo ke na mini no puprum po ye di ongo mini ke na de na mempom ake pe na yin na de na mempo me.
Bedtime schedule. The time a child goes to bed and the time a child wakes up. These are parts of discipline.
Sendendo asange wo mi da ke pe pe to yene bo kini eme kem se pe na tere ya. I want sange wo ida ke pe na tenye me sendendo do pre we se kan e bagay de membangan sen.
Homework responsibilities. The moment they come back from school, they know by so time they must attend to their homework. That's boundaries, clear rules that you've set for them to live.
Ake wo ke to yene pyo nyo di on ki de memo. Ki mo ma nyo fon wen su ki de di am pe do ru. Kem pon wen ke na ai no mo tinam ari mo iben seki no mo ku fon wet. I wet you mani no teacher mo mbon.
Teach these children respectful speech rules. How they communicate with one another at home.
Bem dien di tomfo na bana de etingi ko. Me mo wo mere to mere kama wo ediom mu de ko ke wo mo kinwa.
Let's make an example. Most parents most times would like to say maybe their children were stubborn. They would like to say stop being stubborn. Most times that's the statement they normally use. Now, the correct way of addressing that is in this house we speak respectfully even when upset. Can you see there are two different things now? In this house we speak respectfully even when we are upset or when we are angry. Or in this house, we don't use or welcome such words, such statements.
Send me. No sugar that to go in a committee yen song a word. A thing what in oyen intro tongue tongue tre dido yen through tongue. Upore back a ma rocket to go in. Kusu dos on amiable. Upomi. I will see Namam Pona for Namaro.
That's right. Correct these children privately. When possible. Most times, we want to correct our children. In the church, you want to discipline that child so that the church will see you are disciplined. Most times, you are giving that child another negative, another attitude that why doing this in public? Most times, if you see situations like that, correct these children mostly privately and make them see the reasons why you are correcting them. Don't do it for eye service.
Si tang miero aro wana ni ne kendi tomfo kenanga ma ba mefo kudo wo ke na muto mo nyene wo nusuki na ku bebe kendi tomfo edu wem na benate e ba ke sien e ma ngedi so medio edu wem edu so ne pie na pero ndendo mi akpansan ko mi ma mo ke se tono apre do ru to mo nyene wo sa ro gboro ma na muto mfo ku fok hay no gboro ngoro ma wo edi te ku tie nto me nyes anam ne ke se fo ke ma bebe.
Remember we are still under discipline training. When disciplining, apply consequences that teach. Most times, when a child breaks something, enable him, ensure that he fixes that thing so that next time he will not go to that thing again.
Ado, na atwok bebe to go in. Nam ya nye di yongo, se good mutapikbe, ake sa ake meru wem kere. Nusuwe na ya to go in di yongo, bo kimo ipinam kwa meruwe, sentro ake sa ake me, edina mi moro. Nusuwe na nye biya mkwa kufok. Nam ya nye di yongo, kekbe na timo, inam kwa nusuwe na aswa na yang.
most times things that they damage carelessly, not accidentally.
Nusugira akpakpan kpo kenye ana manye bianga ke mpo kenye rego ke nduirem ido mpo ke bo fio fio
Another way
wanam.
of disciplining is reducing the privileges, like I explained some time ago in the Bible class, that most times our mother used to discipline us when you do something that is not in line with the family standards. What she would do as part of discipline, if other persons had 5 mfi periwinkle in their soup, your own may be 1 or even none. That's part of discipline.
Si
You'll be seeing
tamir
others doing the mfi, your own, there's no mfi for you to.
aro da ke anate anyeme togoyen mempo bebo nene mo. Nusugira togoyen nam kodwe. So kenta manam komorwe. Ni toga imo ye rongunam. Asyungunam iba mi tarongonom mo ye ngokat kunam moron. Akem foruria perenka yung iyagano. Kenta ro mana marwe. Na yema ken mempon tembe me ye diombo ke po me swam kodino imo. Kanga wene ya ne kideme mo.
Or most times being delayed while others are eating, then you eat later. You are not eating when others are eating at the same time.
Nusugira afuya kan ye kene buana kini mon fenedia ambo preros woro usung tono ke fono oyo.
When you are disciplining, please note that the consequences should be fair, related to the behavior. Also apply age standards to the discipline. Don't take the punishment for an elderly person like this, my interpreter, and apply same to this young boy sitting down there.
See,
Understand their age differences and apply discipline according to their age standards or ranges.
Ibo ken tono bena tero nye ke fonno akedogo ana teru to kero sange kem mendaga aketogo ineda idogo tontono ke fono wo ma akpun fonwo benu kemero akero ma song angodi na togo yen no ya sange kem kendaga mo.
Okay. Discipline, teach and praise good behaviors. Why disciplining? You encourage good behaviors and you correct what is wrong. Most times, when a child takes the last, use this child, I don't know anything. Encourage that child. Next time, sit up, read harder. It's part of bringing the child closer to you.
Ntono nye sa ke wo afido a bebe togo yen a toro nye ke nye ma wina mpo ya afon. Amanam ya afon afino onyu dongoro ntoro nye anwa metugo nye kaiso ni en kaiso saro ya to yobo o ki ma enam ya afon ti mo ma idara akaiso ke ntoro akpedi nyungi nam ya afon nusugira ibo yo ke ngwe apobo nye o ma nwa nam ya afon kumi anyemi ayaro se mana ko ngwere bekana ko ngwere fon ya kan aketke ya mana wa majinero yenam ya afon ke me fangaro.
Okay, when disciplining the student, please don't use insults, calling them names. You this stupid boy, you this nonsense boy, you this, you understand, those names, don't use them. Then, constant comparison with your child and another child. Look at so person's child, look at how they are. Every time you are just comparing them. These are wrong ways of disciplining your children or trying to correct them.
Ama bantro kudo etogo ine penam korwe apo kama misai saiko akere bokena kama misai saiko mike mene kenye unama ya gapon ke pangaro kugoro yonton unono ebut ama kuro yen mefon kpomi iron tono diduro ya adi bo egoro abuse kunyungu do to wo kero go matie akere yene wompe e ma kine ke ya gapon apori mene kempo kite ini sai sana ngaba kite na ase nam ponte monaiga kite na ase nam tum kunam tro senye ke ndaga ke penyongoni ye nyung tro ya sange kim.
Okay, under character education, we go straight to integrity education. Still part of character education. Integrity.
Ke imai kibo yogi baro iye itang pe ki woda ke bogo edina makpaniko.
Integrity education is bringing truthful and upright. Being truthful and upright even when nobody sees you. That's integrity. Being truthful and upright even when nobody sees you. You are the person, you are you and your conscience doing the right thing at the right time even when nobody is there watching you. That's integrity.
Si tang mi bo ke edina makpaniko ke ruwem aru tok bem ko ke bo pepe toyen anyero mepo me baki tiero mepo ba me wo krenye me wi ketenye ye di on ke na ti mo ina ma pa ni ko ke fre funda ake wo ke no suira akre ko na aduo awo ben asoge e kama wo bo seti mo ke kre kworo ana ma pa ni ko iro ke kete wo nye ben din do san ke pat si wani
Let your yes be yes, let your no be no. Matthew 5 verse 37. Teach them their yes is yes, their no is no. In today, we see parents involving in the examination malpractice. Even the more, they take their children to JAM, to Waye, Candy Court, and the rest, moral. And also fake lifestyles online and offline, corruption being normalized. People rewarded for dishonesty has been the problem today. These are the things that are bringing problem to integrity. So we've addressed them, we've highlighted them, and we address them.
Yak ituko ine dion keke na tenye ada ke paniko yak I amodo I amodo I ake woge ituko ine na tekan ana mapaniko ke frepunda nusuira misik na mete me kairo mo ke mwamandi tomo inam si kwa nusuira ben neka me special center ibo ke weru do me no ko ebo ke jibu mo mananye kan awure bo ituko ine dion ke fo mi dion imo dion ko ngokorikendo ayom kwa wene ki ketere da ke ayom kwa wene ki ketere da ke imikin na mewo edara memmo keru menamsu papa membono kara saru ge ni ese mo edieto edi weta mi ko keru isanga ido paniko nko mi te peke boro de ta mewo edara si nwani tangaro pebe to ge nyanya di on kiki na atimo keni dara moto edi wemem menye kenye kene ke mege mi kwikweru weme keru akese wompenam nusuira ini o ke merike nam ko me kene amonyo man me wikri mote awonyeko.
Under integrity education, teach your children how to keep to promises, teach them how to say the truth. Returning what doesn't belong to them is so disheartening that parents will see their children coming back home with things they cannot account for or boldly say they own it. Most times, it started from the infancy in school. They come back with biro pen that you did not provide to them before when we were kids. Until your bureau is finished before they will give you another one. My father will ensure you bring the empty one and he will apply it on his book and see that it's not writing again. That means the lot of this black ink will not be there to be white. That's for original big biro. So before you get a new biro, you return the old one to show that one has finished. So you see today parents, and most times we used to put our name in that biro so that you know it's our biro. Even when someone is with it, our name will show there so that you ensure it's not lost. So you see children today coming back with biro that you did not provide to them, erasers, textbooks, and you don't question them, where did you get these things from? This is part of integrity education, integrity training.
Ayom kwa wene ki ketemye do na ke akina timi mo fikpem ni tonyen amo ikan nam me enwo ke mo ke nama nusuke ya ebo manam kwa yenyem mebo iki yenam ya nye di onke imo mari nam mam kporo ki mo mi duwe saro go dido nkan ru we ke mewe kete ku semfene ke ro etangi ko wi nama inwe bat ke nwo gbe na tero ntere kini eseroro pebi anye di onke di nyemero mbio ke na tenyinam ayom kwa wene ro pebi to ke nyanya di onke kina tenyero nye ke bennem powo ayesen nusuina itemme ka yaro amano yen fom powo kama ka ofongwe nusuira agerisio me kpangwere mo bono aket biro ni reza apo ma di on kiro bo kerebe no afo nwa bo nyene fro ikpe na ate na mtoro na ate pobenye bo mkpo onye me ke bo eni ewo nusuira ama bo wo ku fongwe aka ma na mkpo bo onye ma ro mkpo ben kpom so ndi niye na na maro ya kana wa metugo ene nyi di on ibo kiki na ati mo that se mini egi mo ukemero na mo ere to na eti mo ma ino mo etongwe nusuira agwere nyi mi mo san penero for ma ama kuenge ana te bobene ke woro nyebo se nyemi nyer pendendo se kem kondo mageri sene ke ba ke inkero nyebe ne sen ke ngure mo iwere ke ba mama nyu no fien pen.
Okay, today you will see the adults or the ones that are growing up coming back with big phones, coming back with costly hairs that you know that even you cannot afford that hair or that phone, or coming back with cars and you are celebrating these children. What integrity did you imbibe or instill in them right from youthful or even as they are growing up?
Send them ke mi war we mi war. Akere ne ke poniye nusugira uto utoma kenye nama iro senye pe ayaruto ire kenye pe yarake arugo fo tutu me pon ake woto ida ke so mana ke foro ude puto ide po yara bro in fo yara musina akre nyem me phone ake ro fo me yon e komo rwa phone omi ke phone kidem fu kanne edide auto to mo kenye na ma I memme yi pikan som dem tro o ke dem moto usongo etem me ka ma kre ro te yin mi mo ida awi suki mani bo daran mo ko mo sudu ngo udio meran mo u kemero yin ni amtum akporo po manam pom tongana ye kero etuk ayon wan pien apuru ni empna lo kem ma ekbon.
Okay, teach your children to admit their mistakes to enable correct them. Also teach them how to refuse cheating, refuse corruption, refuse false witness. Teach them to refuse cheating, corruption, and bearing false witness.
Bem to yen yam mo nyemme nduruem mo kiro ma duem po nyes ko nyana wom yo bo te pe do wom kom kom ba ke na nya pon bebe ya nyemme nduruem mo an ngonam posen nyung so bebe nyen ko ke panga ke ro a ken po ya nye tang se nye krero kiro nu suira ke ru fa mo ke nam po ruwe e ke we se kamawo nye ke ro fa na mo itangan ne ke sigiro.
You see, when there are children at home, one may tend to maybe do something wrong, and the parents now ask, who did this thing? He will say, not me, it is this one. Most times pointing to the one that cannot speak out. That one that cannot speak out will just, maybe probably the other one is a very small younger brother or younger sister. They want to neglect taking their responsibility or their fault and accusing another person. Teach them to take their to admit to their mistakes and their wrongs. Also, what we need to note is that talent may open doors. You understand? Talent, our level of education may open doors, but integrity sustains trust. Integrity is what that sustains the trust that truly you have talent, truly you are well equipped educationally and otherwise.
Ne da sitam mi karo da ke kwebe to ya nyi mendurwe ku don su da ke nam porwe kre to ne ka ke ri kan ni ko itang e ke nya no bo sa ro di on buru kan o mi anyero aso wa nya no bo kwebe ya nyi me ke nye iben nduru yo no won fen nkonko ya nye di on bo ke etiru we me ke mo isi o di ke aniemu a ke ri gida iso nye kini so ke aprimiti tum ake mewe ye mewe ina mutum mewo ke na makpaniko nyanye di on ke na di mo ido wo kpaniko tun opupo awonde ke kenye ka kero ya wa manye nyikan damme isutum domo kere ke je memewo.
We look at humility and respect, see part of character education. Humility and respect. This has been a problem to most of the Gen Zs today. The Gen Zs, in fact, virtually greater percentage of humans today, humility and respect is a very high problem for the society.
Ayom kon wene ke mi mo pidi sekero yom kon inangado nsori dem medik bonowo.
Humility helps children to avoid pride, arrogance, and entitlement.
Ay to go ine mare to go ine ke aswo kidem aya nwa manye di kan pep anye di kokidem ndusugira akokidem ke wo itie kergo ate team oro ntimama na mponyo te ke team oro governor team oro commissioner kokidem aye mi nam pom me fo kentaro nie mpo ke nwa manye nye kokoparamo.
Respect teaches proper treatment of parents. When you teach these children how to respect, it teaches proper treatment to parents, elderly persons, peers, workers, teachers, and society. When you teach them how to respect, they know how to have proper treatment with this class of persons we've mentioned. Luke 14 verse 11 says, whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles will be exalted. When you are humble, you'll be lifted. When you feel so proudy, you'll be humbled.
Etogo nyanye dion na pone kamawo ukponoro ya sa wu kemfie na ke porogete an wo sa ke me frefun mi gbo wo sa ro fo ma ba na onyu gbebe mi a frefun mo ke nyekete de kamawo ya dion ke na pe na timo ikpono mo ba igbekete mo ke ndu e dion sun medu na ebe ni ko itange no e kamawo senjendo ki keten welu ki woro mo dobe na fa mo dobaket akebo wondo make ke bene gideme mo ke ya swore yen awo ke so keri dem ke ya benere yen.
You will see in today's world most parents raise their children in a proudly manner, proudly way, save glorification and the rest, from the dressings and giving these children titles, even at homes. Most times, the most negative part of it is that families that they have a house help, you will see their children encouraging their children to maltreat the house help, such that a small boy or a young girl can eat. He or she cannot take his dish, the plate he finished eating, to keep it at the proper place, probably clean it. When we were kids, that means after eating, you wash your plate. When we were kids, you have to wash your plate. So most times you will see parents today bringing a house help or a slave. Most times, because it's no longer a house help, it's now a slave. Because your children are maltreating this person and you also are maltreating this same person. So it's now a slave. They will eat and drop those things. You cannot even teach your children how to wash their own clothes they wear. It's the house girl or the houseboy that wants to wash for them. Teach them these things, how to be humble. Irrespective of how rich you are, teach them how to respect, irrespective of how rich you are, or the richness, or the rich family they are born into.
Si tang miedo da ke akena te mi mofo ikpebe ni tonyi na akena te pune kamawo imise ke nusuri da na ete me ka se no yin mi ponyong akene ke mo nge pune nge konge nge ina ma yire mo kri de me mo nye bon da ke mo pena te ro nusuri da yo ke we tie ke ro ene wo ke anwa mammo ke ufok tiok na kpem to nye wo se ro nda ke ro etuko ine ni men to bi on to make nyek bena tenam no suira ke diam bo ma do bena te so beno sa do gen nge kitchen aka ri do nyeri ye do wo siri yen mo ba jak kap di on ke bena te ben aran mo ko me ya su wo tie aka diam aka ko do uniform ki mi diam ko ri ma di ko nu san di on ke wo ton na si wa da that suton da ke bu bena na so na me to ine di on bo ke na te nyek pone kam ma wo di on men to bi on to make bena te nyam ki dagamo.
Teach them to respect the drivers, the gardeners, the gate man, and the rest, even the relative, extended relatives. Teach them to respect and be humble.
Ake wo ke fun mun ake poni te munu tum fo pro me pon awo ke ukara te me oku watafien me mo ke ro ko monki konfo ake ko do gardener mbok ebo pebe mo pena te bono prefrute bono me ke do de kama we non the tom.
Okay. Call your children down, sit them down, tell them the difference between self-esteem and being proudy. There are two different things. Self-esteem and being proudy. Self-esteem, confidence. You have confidence. And being proudy is superiority complex. Konkan.
Si tamero, kweben for ya di yon okpore ke ba anye di fyogi de memo, menye di kri de memo. Ake wo ke to ine pe afyogi de memo di yon bo o kem pe ine ogi mo me ki ye kaninam ai won do sho ki mo mi nam kom ken ta ri me mi di yon ki mi ni ukeme o utema ki no mi mi di yon pe kaninam ai won nam ko asan ken ta ro nye no mpo ri nam me na ke nye kati de memo wo mpe ne fodo mbio udo ro mpondo make ukpore ro ken kri dem me nye di yon de memo.
Respect. Why pride teaches looking down on others.
Ukpono ake pepe toyen anwa manye anye dikpone mo wo mfen aro toyen ke kitire memo anam anye kre frewo ate mbio.
Self-esteem teaches accepting corrections while pride rejects correction. Self-esteem appreciates ability humbly. Pride boasts excessively. Akridem. Self-esteem feels secure internally. They feel secure with what they have internally, while pride often seeks validation and being confused often. A proudy person is always confused. They want to confirm something.
Awoke adion ti de memo. Adion woke ekpetono yemo mik baby mompo. Aya kanani en sori dem abo gbewero. Ba woke ketile mi ketendu dwendo makeri no ide memo. Apese betang anye ketini ese fodion ai won body ko isaisa kintaro nye kidi de memo. Nko awoke adion kide memo kan ani ese code internal security adion ide memo ukeme ke ba kenye kedinam ko ke meken but adion awoke iro nko wi ba mi temi obogi no emo mama me adion iboke mpo mi minam ya phone safe in internal security ro but amado da ke aro validation o kitang ibago awo so yimina afun po ya ket Après we ket ki mai nam kpo mi nu suira ke nom kpo mana ben kpo poko te ki mai ki na mami. So da me we mi obong jende no ye bo manam. Isaro nye ke tri de me mo idion ku to wo ke nyero.
Okay, we cannot conclude our teaching on character education when we don't mention, if we don't mention love and kindness. Very important. Love and kindness. That's the fifth part of character education. Love and kindness.
I mean,
Teaching compassion, empathy, and care for others. God also not in exclusion. You teach a compassion, empathy, and care to others. That's love. And you don't exclude God in this.
I mean, mo fi ke me ke di ma o pem ko me ke nyen media na ima ye mboma ke wo ni no mo wo mfen. Bebe yim fo ke na te nyedo nye ke ni mbom akere etimpo abang mo wo mfen.
Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Mark 12 verse 31. Be kind and compassionate. Ephesians 4 verse 32. Love and kindness shape how children relate to people emotionally and socially.
Mambo irung fo ate fo mari dempo imekende okengwe ma ki woro mo do e ba famo repieke yungi ma ekele ro ke bishani woro mo ina famo edebye edobeba ake bo mambo irung fo premier ru pe ke na ate mi mo fi pem tonyo.
Teach your children how to have empathy to others. Teach them how to have this sharing attitude. It starts from home. You will see brothers or sisters sharing their belongings, like they share their clothes together, they share their shoes, whatever this one has. When we were kids, I like saying this, you hardly know who owns a particular thing that we put on. You hardly know because we are all boys. And at some certain age, 3, we are the same sizes of clothes. My elder brother, me, and the one that follows me. You understand? So you hardly know who owns the shoe I put on. You hardly know who owns the shirt I put on. So we were all we were being brought up to share among ourselves.
Bem ni ton fo na gba na te ni buana me mo wo. Ake wo ke pa ke ire mo fo ke nyeto ke na te tun oku fo pe be na te ni buana ye mo men to ka mo ke nyero ngoke. Se nye ni nye buana me ne ka. Me yong no nye mpo nye bene nyong ri ufok adi wana mento ka ake wo ke mi to na mo re to to ka mo se ro na mo me ki kpono wo ida ke kem ndaga ke anyan me kidem abana bana ka mo bene fo mo sene iba in rampe ni mo sene rampe ro re ka mo bene sene après ri mai sine ndro u ke me ke ri mi awo ke suru ke pana ke ni pon ro ke sa ro pre mo nge bandru ka nu ri yo awo ke mi mo mi ni ebuana ye kereke.
Teach your children how to care for the weak, the aged, and those that are in needy, those that are not feeling fine. Teach them. It's their responsibility. When they see such persons, they assist, they care, they show love.
Baby, in Puna Benate, and you want me more ke back in me. Ya ke back in Dakero, Nusuida mess and me. Mufeket, I won't bonam. Who suppose you yet daddy, ya yim no worker, Yanya Dion gets the memo, taken at him, mom. Okay, back in me.
It starts from parents. When you are in a particular group or an organization, and whatever funds that needs to be raised in that group or organization, and you are part of it, teach them also. Any group you belong to or an organization, and they have contributions, please participate in the contributions or support in that organization. So, for example, most times marriage committees and other things, other groups like that. Do you know why? When your time comes, they will now say, this person always participates in activities or in other person's activities.
I want to get me more for kido ete meka. Nusugeda imiba me nsion ka ke mi mo fiba. Na mi ayin for di on bo ke men ka mi ki mo emiti ke ni sinu wam ino ndido ke ba ke nka mi mom. Nusugeda pe yemu wam. Ake wo ke to ne ya won gbono wo de adi wa ki dagi wara ke do nusugeda opana mo yimi nam do ya mo di on bo ke mi mo mini obi on tum. Ke mi mo ke ne sinu wam no mo fa mi mo ye kru nen ke di namaro. Ke mo ke iso ni men tum san ake wutima. The
church has the need for some contributions. Please teach them to be part of such contributions.
Bebe yin foku ya nye so se to mon simbere sire me mo fepke mpo tuowo ake yemme ntom sene ke to kidem ba ye ku fo base se eniu na na ke yemme me mo fo ini ntom sen na ma yin podion keke na te ye kene aboa gidem ano etokse nye niero manu fo base kai so ni enko.
Teach these children how to give. Teach them how to give to others and also to God. Do you know why? Because when he gives to others, giving is a blessing. You receive bountiful blessings. When these children, when you teach them to give to God, they will see the need to give to God, how God has prospered them. And how does God prosper you? God keeps uplifting you, elevating you. Now, when you teach these children from infancy or from childhood, that at this stage, I used to give you 15 naira to put as your offering. At this certain age, you are now 10 years, have upgraded your collection. At certain age, have upgraded your collection. When these students grow up, when they are working, they will now know that there is need for them to upgrade their giving to God.
Bem di towong manam edion kekbena te no emo won fenbo. Yang edion itien wele ba se kebo ke fono won di no kan di bo. Ke ediri yon ni memmo ke no aka memmo ke bo. Nam ya nye di yon ku fono ro nye di no mo emo won fenbo. Ukemero ye ba se ya nye akpobe kire mo ate oke nda osun fodi on mu pon me unwam ake nye bo oto basi ke men son ide me na basi nwam anye mu pe mporo mi man ki mi eke nye mi no basi mpo nye kire basi kuton da ake basi gbe na ke uton da ake basi do aka na no ke president mo sipon ma di boy di on ke to basi.
Okay, teach your children how to show love and kindness to the gospel ministers. Galatians 6 verse 6. 1 Corinthians 9 verse 13 to 14. I would like someone to read Galatians 6 verse 6, please.
Bem di tompo na penate no me moke edo me kwori ko moke kama gutum ku fo basi aki kitege Galatia iworo mo etio gero famo etio gero kemero me pangwe Corinth iworo mo soker famo dobe etai ko wo do me ko mo do
First
ina.
Corinthians says namutum temple ya to temple. That's how it says.
Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teach in all good things.
Okay. Awo ku pepe mgbo. Ya anye ni udori eto. Kama ye ya phone. Na gbe mama di kapa. That place means for you to take good care of whoever that is teaching you the gospel. So teach these children. There is need for you to take good care of the gospel ministers. This will enable them to sit down and research the true gospel to teach. You will see today, some ministers are now looking for things to do, and at the detriment of the true gospel, just to make sure they have something in their pockets. It's not supposed to be so. If it's in a congregation that have love for their minister, they will ensure he's well taken good care of, and that will enable him to sit and ensure the true gospel is there. Not the minister sit. Very sincere.
Bem di tompo na kana te kama me kwori ko ake ba ke tuomo. Sare togoyen ama di on ufono ke na te kama me kwori ko. Adi on bo ki mai nam si fo me kwori ko. Aya nwa manye ndende sre mo na son anye duin ko ba se kana ben iko ba se kedi nwa mu kpongo mo di ni ensinsu we akpe betuo aro mir ba antro awo mi kana kwori ko kama mu wak for ba se Christ me kwori ko mai ka pion kiriba enyon sa ro we kan ni kama ba mbion ni wo de yemi tiempen so for ma ba ke tuoro ya yin podion fono ke gbe na atin na mpo e kama me kwori ko mane kan doing ko ba se.
Okay, today we've been able to discuss on character education, though I had two broad things to discuss: character education and mental education. With the time given to me, I've been able to attend to character education, which had to do with moral education, disciplining training, and integrity education. Also, we had discussed humility and respect. We also discussed love and kindness. So, for the mental education, there's no time. My moderator is still giving me eye contact for me to stop. So we'll stop there for today. We'll discuss others some other time when we meet. Thank you for listening.
Nete gena tine mem kpo iba ke kedo edu we me ke pepeto yen mena anyi kami wuro mo kerem kpo aro fangi ba ya nyini kai so ke yo ikpegi baro aro se nyini kise ke fangi du wem i mai tang pe ki wo afanga ke kuto moral education ke wo ke to ne di yon si pon mesidio e ngi tang pe ki won tno ke pepeto yen itanga yogi tage kedo na anyi penate ana mapaniko yogi na ado na anyi penate ni ensori de meyi pene kamawo ayogi tieno do ima yembo ma kenyenie imo mo wonfen senyini kini mero ku semfeni mi bo ya basi adion pempo kenyini bo mi kenye bon Jesus Christ.